So they told you by they, Mike Pompeo stated on Fox News that there were going to be more attacks, more anti Semitic attacks in the US, right? So he made that announcement. And then, how convenient, shortly after, there was another attack that happened close to home here in the town of Brookline. This was at a kosher store in Brookline, which is right outside of Boston. Let's go ahead and bring this in here.
This is an attack on the Jewish people of Boston. Nobody should be fearful of coming to get kosher food. My name is Gili. I'm one of the owners of the butchery, the only kosher Jewish store in the Boston area. So we came in this morning and we saw a hole through the window. A brick was thrown in last night at about 1 o'clock in the morning. We have videos from the cameras all around it, around the building, and we handed it over to the police department, which they're saying that they're investigating this case. So the brick said Free Palestine. It's been here for the past 50 years. I'm third generation. This has never happened in the butchery history, no. There's a non-political statement here. This is a map of Israel with all the best wines that Israel has to offer. This is just a pure hate crime against us, the Jewish people. I feel horrible as a Jewish person that we have to go through these things these days.
So, of course, the Daily Wire, right? Okay. So let's say a little bit of something. Since this is closer, to me, it's local to me. There's some things I can tell you that I think you need to know. Brookline, and I'll pull up the map here in a second. Brookline is right outside of Boston. I used to live across the street from Brookline. This is when I was in grad school at Northeastern. So I lived in a neighborhood called Alston. A lot of college students live in that area because Boston University is there. And then also Boston College is down the street going towards Newton, Massachusetts, right? So Brookline is kind of known as a sleepy town. Nothing happens in Brookline. Like, I'm dead serious. Okay. So like Brookline is not one of those places where, especially I think if you're young and you want to go out and stuff, it's not one of the places you choose to go to. Like, nobody says, hey, let's go out for drinks tonight in Brookline. You know what I mean? It's not that kind of place. It is a well-to-do area, wealthy, so to speak. If I remember correctly, I think Bob Kraft, the Patriots owner, is from Brookline. Like that's a wealthy town. And you have some college students that rent apartments in Brookline, but even the apartments, from what I saw, they're pretty expensive. But there is a Jewish community in Brookline, Massachusetts. So here's the thing. First of all, let's fast forward to this part here about the brick, right? So brick came in. We come back here.
Window, a brick was thrown in last night at about 1 o'clock in the morning. We have videos from the cameras all around it, around the building.
Right here. Okay. So you see? All right. Now, this was also on local news here. And one of the things that I have to say is, all right, pretty convenient, right? That you can't see the person's face. They have on, it looks like they're wearing a hood or a hat, but you really can't see their face. That tells me that they knew or were aware that there would be cameras outside of that store, right? Someone familiar with the area. There were a number of people online saying it was probably one of those college students, one of the BU students or something like that. First of all, the college students went home. It's June. The graduations already happened. So the students aren't there. So let's push back on that rhetoric. This is an adult. This is not, I don't think this is a college student, right? I believe, and this is just me, again, familiar with the area, I believe this is somebody who was not a part of the pro-Palestinian movement. I believe this is someone that possibly could be pro-Israel that did this to make it look as though the pro-Palestine movement did this. Written on the brick, it said free Palestine. How convenient. How convenient, right? Someone said free the brick. What someone just said free the brick. Again, it's weird to me because I told you you're going to hear about there will be more of these, right? Like they're going to hammer you with this, with these incidents. And you guys know there's always copycats as well. They're going to drive this in the media so much to try to make it seem like ultimately they are the victim. Now, this particular shop isn't just like a regular, butchery. As you can see, the map on the wall, if I remember correctly, this is a kosher / Jewish store. It's not just like, kosher. Of course, they have the map here of Israel. Again, as I said, how convenient. And I'm just putting the pieces together for this. And to me, I think that whoever did this was not someone who was a pro-Palestine activist. I believe that this is someone who was pro-Israel that did this to try to get people more angry at the pro-Palestine movement. Because like I said, the college students are gone. So they're not there. And this is not the type of place, like I said, Brookline is fairly wealthy. It's not the type of town where things kind of happen. It just doesn't. It's more so residential. There's a couple of restaurants there. Like I went to a tapas place there many years ago for someone's birthday. I forget, but like a tapas thing there many, many years ago. But then it was like you would go to that restaurant and then you would go somewhere else. Like you would go to another neighborhood if you wanted to get drinks or something like that for the most part. It's not the type of place where people say, let's go party in Brookline. It's not that type of place. Brookline also is very strict. They have a lot of rules. Like the reason why some people, aside from money, don't want to live there is because they have a lot of rules. Like you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't, there's certain towns here in Massachusetts where like you can't have a leaf blower, you can't use a leaf blower, just like weird rules. And Brookline's one of those towns where they have pretty strict kind of rules. And so if you don't want to adhere to that, you're, I think, less likely to want to live in Brookline, right? But let me show you what it looks like. Because here's the thing, like I said, people are not stupid. Okay. So let me pull up the map so I can show you so you can see what you're looking at here, ladies and gentlemen. But I told you more and more of these would happen. So if you look at the map and you can see it here, let me zoom out just a little bit, right? So here is Boston right here, Back Bay. And then you have Brookline. Brookline basically looks like someone took a bite out of Boston. Like it looks like it was like taking a bite out of it. And Alston right here. So Alston and Brookline actually intersect. That's why I was saying, like, I lived across the street from Brookline, right? Over there on Harvard Avenue. And you can kind of just walk from Alston, cross the street, and you're in Brookline. So that's where Brookline is. Very wealthy. Not much happens there, like I said before. I just really believe, I really, really, really believe that you're going to see more of these things happen, not because I want them to, but because they're really, really trying to get people in this country to become more, pro-Israel. Again, the poll shows the majority of Americans have lost support for Israel. So I think that Zionists and those alike that support what Israel is doing is working behind the scenes to effectively try to find ways to increase that support. That's what I believe. And like I said, nothing really happens in Brookline. So like all of a sudden out of nowhere, this happens, right? So I don't know. We don't know. I do know the college students are gone. So I question it. I really do question it. I think this was somebody local, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was someone who was pro-Israel that did it, who knew there were cameras around that store. That's why the face is covered and did what they did. I think a lot of people are going to look at it and see it this way. Again, people are not stupid. Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.